Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel. Kody Brown, the patriarch of the infamous Sister Wives clan, stood nervously beside Robin, his fourth wife, whose hands trembled slightly as she clutched the edge of the wooden pew in front of her, the polished surface reflecting the fluorescent light and the grim determination on her husband's face, a face that had weathered years of public scrutiny, internal family strife, and the endless emotional toll of balancing multiple marriages under the relentless eye of both the law and national television. And as the judge's gavel finally struck, echoing through the chamber like a thunderclap, the words guilty or liable hung in the air, though no one dared speak them aloud at first, each family member frozen in a collective moment of disbelief, hearts pounding, breaths caught, and for a fleeting second, the room seemed suspended in time, where every tick of the clock felt like an eternity and every shuffle of papers or whispered exchange carried the weight of years of accumulated tension, resentment, and loyalty. And as Kody's shoulders slumped almost imperceptibly, Robin instinctively reached for his hand, her fingers brushing his in a gesture of support, solidarity, and a silent promise that no matter what the court's decision held, she would stand beside him, unwavering, the cameras capturing every micro-expression, every flicker of emotion, every subtle exchange that fans would later dissect and debate endlessly on forums, social media, and talk shows. And as Mary's eyes filled with tears, not just from the verdict but from the crushing realization that yet again, the Brown family's private life had become a public spectacle, a source of both fascination and judgment, Janelle tried to compose herself, hiding her reaction behind a stiff upper lip, while Christine, ever the perceptive observer, noticed the tension ripple through the room and caught the silent communication between Kody and Robin, the way their bodies angled toward each other, a physical manifestation of their alliance, their unity against the overwhelming odds of legal and emotional scrutiny. And as the bailiff cleared his throat and the court clerk began reading the official documentation, the words seemed almost surreal, a litany of legal jargon that contrasted sharply with the raw human emotions playing out before the spectators, who were themselves holding back their reactions, some out of respect, some out of the sheer shock of witnessing a family that had been both celebrated and vilified in equal measure face the stark reality of consequences that could not be edited away, could not be dramatized for television, could not be softened by confessional interviews or strategic social media posts. And as Kody's lawyer whispered reassurances, some of which seemed more performative than comforting, Robin leaned closer, her presence a grounding force amid the storm of anxiety, media frenzy, and familial pressure, and it was impossible not to notice how her composure, though fraught with internal turmoil, radiated a quiet strength that had been cultivated over years of navigating a complex and often tumultuous household. A household where love, loyalty, rivalry, and competition often collided in ways that left deep emotional scars, yet here she was, a pillar of calm, whispering words of encouragement to the man she had chosen to share her life with, even when the decisions of the past had been questioned and the future seemed so uncertain. And as the judge finally delivered the verdict in full, outlining fines, restrictions, or mandates, depending on the legal specifics that had been argued over countless hearings, motions, and depositions, the sound seemed almost deafening, a verdict that would ripple through the family dynamics like a seismic shock, altering relationships, loyalties, and public perception. And it was in that instant that the reality of their lives, lived under the unrelenting glare of cameras and public scrutiny, collided with the cold, impartial judgment of the legal system, reminding everyone present that no amount of fame, wealth, or media influence could insulate them from the consequences of actions taken in both the public and private spheres. And as the court emptied, the family gathered in small clusters, whispers and muffled sobs intertwining, a tapestry of emotion that reflected years of complex entanglements, sacrifices, and the relentless pursuit of happiness in a framework that society itself often questioned. And yet through it all, Robin's hand never left Kody's, a visible emblem of the bond that had endured scrutiny, speculation, and strife. And as they walked out of the courthouse, flanked by lawyers and a throng of camera crews eager to capture a defining moment in the Brown family saga, the tears were not solely of grief or despair, but also of relief, unity, and perhaps even hope. The hope that despite the verdict, the family could regroup, redefine boundaries, and move forward, navigating a path that would inevitably continue to be messy, public, and deeply human. And as Kody's children watched from the sidelines, some with expressions of confusion, hurt, or concern, others with stoic acceptance. It became clear that the emotional impact of the courtroom drama would resonate long after the cameras had packed up and the legal documents had been filed, shaping conversations around loyalty, accountability, love, and the very meaning of family in a world that simultaneously celebrates and scrutinizes every choice. And in the midst of all this, Robin's presence beside Kody was more than symbolic, it was a testament to the intricate dance of partnership that had survived trials both literal and metaphorical, a dance that would continue to unfold in living rooms, social media posts, confessional interviews, and personal moments behind closed doors, each step a reminder that in a family as public, as complex, and as scrutinized as the Browns, the ties that bind are simultaneously fragile and resilient. And as they departed the courthouse, flanked by cameras, onlookers, and the silent scrutiny of the world, the expressions on their faces told a story that words could barely capture, a story of tears, relief, solidarity, and the indomitable human desire to face adversity together, with love and loyalty prevailing, even in the shadow of shocking courtroom verdicts. And as night fell, the lights of the courthouse casting long shadows on the steps where they had gathered, the Browns' story, like the verdict itself, was not confined to a single moment. It was a continuing narrative, rich with complexity, fraught with emotion, and deeply compelling, a narrative that would keep fans, critics, and casual observers alike watching, analyzing, and debating the next chapter of a family whose public and private lives are inextricably intertwined, forever marked by the day Kody Brown stood in court, flanked by Robin, with the weight of judgment and consequence pressing down, and the cameras rolling, capturing a moment that was as much about legal resolution as it was about human endurance, familial bonds, and the extraordinary, sometimes heartbreaking, reality of living life under the gaze of an entire nation, a reality where every tear, every gesture, and every whispered word carries profound significance, leaving the family, the fans, and the world forever changed by the shocking courtroom verdict that tested the limits of loyalty, love, and resilience. And yet, through it all, standing beside Robin, Kody faced the world, knowing that some bonds, like theirs, can withstand even the most intense storms, a lesson in unity, perseverance, and the enduring, often messy, power of family. Christine Brown breaks down as family changes bring unexpected heartache. Life in the Brown family has never been simple. Over the years, viewers have seen marriages unravel, loyalties shift, and children carve their own paths far away from their father, Kody Brown. Christine has put in a lot of effort to regain her happiness with David Woolley, her new husband. She has been doing well as a woman who is on her own, putting her attention on her children and her new chapter outside of the plural marriage. But while Christine has often shown strength, fans know she wears her heart on her sleeve when it comes to her kids. As her adult children build lives of their own, she has had to navigate the bittersweet reality of letting them go. When one of Christine's daughters makes a life-altering decision that breaks her heart, viewers will witness Christine's emotions breaking point in the most recent episode. Mykelti's bond with Kody and Robin falls apart. Christine Brown Woolley revealed in her memoir that Kody and Robin cut off contact with Mykelti, despite her once being one of Robin's strongest allies. Fans were taken aback by the outcome because Mykelti frequently stood by Robin when others did not. But cracks have been visible for years. In 2024, Mykelti called out her dad for dodging accountability. She added that saying even a simple apology could mend fences. Instead, Kody's blame-shifting deepened the divide. Christine hopes that time will heal, but reconciliation seems unlikely without accountability and sincere effort. Mykelti's estrangement highlights just how fractured the Brown family has become since Christine left polygamy. Sister Wives, Mykelti's cross-country move, Christine's divorce from daughter. In a new episode of Sister Wives, Christine Brown tears up as she helps daughter Mykelti pack for a big move. Mykelti is moving to North Carolina with Tony, her husband, and their 3 young children. Christine will no longer be just a drive away from watching her grandchildren grow up. This loss hit her hard. She breaks down in tears and admits that she is devastated by the reality of saying goodbye. The choice isn't just about distance for Mykelti. She explains that her mom is upset because she'll miss those early childhood years with her grandkids. Christine cares a lot about feelings. The separation feels even heavier knowing that Aspen and Isabel, Mykelti's sisters, don't have kids yet. Mykelti wants her children to grow up around cousins, which is one reason she's excited to be closer to Janelle's daughter Maddie, who already has a bustling household in North Carolina. The move also gives Tony a chance to pursue his passion for chess. He explains in the episode that Charlotte is a hub for the game. He has more chances to coach, make content, and compete as a result of it. Christine playfully teases her daughter for being the wife of the century while supporting his career. But she knows the shift is important for their future. Mykelti shares that she asked her father to visit before the move, but he never made the effort.